What would it mean to get Zach Tom back this week?
It'd be great. Working really hard in practice, and yeah, it'd mean a lot to our offense. He's been a great player for us for a while, and yeah, he really helped out.
Can you see a difference in Josh Jacobs in the last?
Yeah, he looks great in practice, running hard, looks fresher. So yeah, it'll be good going into the playoffs with him at full speed.
Is he a pretty critical part of your red zone offense? When you think of red zone, you think
Yeah,
about
I mean,
pass.
absolutely. You look at how many rushing touchdowns he's had this year. I think it's like 13 or something like that. So having a guy that can find the end zone like he does is always really important in the red zone for sure.
So, did you learn anything, or what did you learn about any guys who played in Minnesota last week and going forward with?
Yeah, I saw some good things from some guys up front. I thought Monk did a good job in there competing. Belton had some good and bad plays, but he competed really hard and came off the rock pretty well. J-Mo as well. So it was good up front to just see those guys, and Minnesota was playing all their starters and everything like that. So it was a good evaluation from that standpoint. Yeah, so just getting those guys out there competing against those guys up front, I thought was really good.
Stenavich, going back to Spoon's question about Jacobs, I mean, he was dealing with that since the Giants game. He was pretty damn good early in the season. Are you able to do some things now again that you haven't been able to do? I'm not looking for the game plan, but did you have to kind of handle him differently because he wasn't fully himself?
Yeah, there were times, and we kind of leaned on Josh to let us know when he was good and when he wasn't. There was times, where he just felt like he couldn't maybe be out there as much as he wanted to be. But I would say E and Brooks did a nice job stepping up and filling in at certain points throughout the season. So, yeah, it'll be good to get him out there. Hopefully he's full speed and ready to go, and we can get his best ball right now.
Stan, what do you I know it's hard to re-assimilate after you've been out as long as you have been, but Reed's been a really good player for you the last 3 years. What do you think of kind of where he's at, getting back to being himself, and there haven't been a ton of opportunities, so.
Yeah, no, he looks good. Making a lot of plays in practice, running around, flying around. And he's made some plays in the games that he's played in the last few weeks. So, no, I'm excited about Jay Reed. I'm excited for all our wide receivers going out there and having great games.
I know you want to protect Jordan from hits, clean or otherwise. Is that just a focus this week, is not to let him get hit at all?
Yeah, yes it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a focus every week, is to not let him get hit. There's nothing really different from that standpoint. Yeah, you got to cover the ball. Make sure you're picking your quarterback up off the pile. If he scrambles or anything down the field, you got to have his back for sure.
Steno, we were talking to Jordan earlier, and he had the great game in Dallas in the playoffs, and then he was playing great in San Francisco, and he had a couple of mistakes that he looks back on. He talked about last year. Where's the fine line between, how good he is capable of being and making sure that he doesn't, it felt like those were a lot of times trying to do too much. Is that a fair assessment of kind of what happened in those?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's at that point in his career, he was a young guy just, trying to make plays, and that's stuff that he learns from, and I think he does a really nice job learning as he goes. So yeah, I'm really excited to see kind of him take the reins and see where this can go for this postseason. So, he's got a good look in his eye, and he's ready to go.
How much do the conditions on Saturday, or at least what they're supposed to be, go into your game plan for this week?
It still kind of depends. It fluctuates, the weather, you know what I mean? So you always take that into account. Just like playing in Lambeau, you can get pretty windy conditions and snow, and, you never know what's going to happen. So you make your game plan, and then you adjust kind of on game day if you think certain things aren't going to be as good. You might have to lean on the run game more if the wind's blowing too hard or if it's snowing, things like that. So, yeah, we'll just kind of see how it goes and adjust.
Do you expect in a game like this, third time, that both teams just do what they do best, or do you expect?
There'll be some new stuff for sure. Just like any game, any division game, there's a new wrinkle. But at the end of the day, you got to lean on what you're good at for sure, and that's what got you to this point, and that's what you do best. So that's got to be your bread and butter for sure.
They have so many turnovers. What's been how do you avoid those killer mistakes?
Well, yeah, you got to really do a great job. You know, anytime you catch the ball or run with the ball, just being really focused on making sure you have the ball at the end of the play. They do an excellent job tackling the football, punching at the football, ripping at the football. They got one out on us last time we played them down in the red zone. That was a big play for them. So we got to make sure we do a great job with that. Their DBs are very good they got really good ball skills. They can catch the ball. They don't really lose too many opportunities by dropping the ball and things like that. So they do a nice job just being around the football.
A year ago this week, you just lost Christian. Jordan got his elbow banged up going to Philly. And you have both of them, obviously, getting Zach back. Josh is rested. Like, just what kind of difference is a year make? Just
Awesome. Yeah, we learned a lot from that experience for sure, and I really like where we're at as an offense as far as, at the end of the season, heading into the postseason, our guys are ready to go.
Is there more flexibility in just terms of how you put together a plan, knowing that you have kind of all the cavalry?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. It's good.
Hey, Steno, how good of an idea did you have of what Shawn Ryan was or could be as a center? And what do you kind of think of how that, it's not an experiment, he's the starter.
Yeah.
How do you think it's going?
It was an experiment at first, but no. It's been great. Like he's really grabbed that role and done an excellent job with it. And yeah, he's been great. As far as ever since he's been here, he's kind of always snapped and always, just in the back of your mind, all right, hey, just get some snaps and just make sure in case we need you for an emergency, you could play some center. But then as he got better and as he kept playing, you're like, wow, this guy could be pretty good. And then, he's done a nice job just running the show up there and executing.
I know you guys weren't doing this on purpose, but it always felt like with him, like you were always trying to replace him, right? Like he'd be a guard and then he was rotating with J-Mo. And what did you find out about him character-wise, about the way he handled that?
He's a competitor, definitely. I think that's just something about him that he's a competitor. He's going to do whatever you ask of him, do what's best for the team, and he'll just do it with a smile on his face and as hard as he can. I have a huge amount of respect for him, just how he goes about it. He's a pro.
He's a college tackle, right? I don't know how much center he played before then. What is it about him at that position that's been such a good fit?
He's very stout. He's strong. When he gets his hands on people, he does a nice job locking them down. And his football IQ's really grown since he got here. So that's been cool to see just, how much more intelligent he is, able to make calls, know the entire scheme of the offense, things like that. But yeah, he's a strong kid, really strong. I think that's his biggest attribute is like when he gets his hands on people, he can shut them down.
That was his strength at guard too, right? Especially in the run game. Yep. How different is it at center compared to guard in that aspect?
Yeah, I think it's the further you go inside, like moving from tackle to center, things just happen right in front of you, so there's less space. And I think for him it's good because the guys are right in front of him. He can get his hands on them, and it's good for him as far as his game.
Adam, Sunday in Minnesota, you had a lot of 3rd and 9s because on first down, the Vikings were sending a blitzer and, Clayton would get sacked. Was he missing on that and not picking up that somebody's coming? And today at practice, when I see Love, Willis, and Ritter in your quarterback room, that's about as good as a quarterback room gets, right?
Yeah, no, I'm happy about our quarterback room right now. We didn't help Clayton that much up front to start off the game. I thought we did a poor job in the first quarter. There was a lot of guys that were cut loose at the point of attack, especially in the run game, that we needed to do better. I thought as the game went on, we did a much better job with that. So, yeah, anytime you're not efficient on 1st and 2nd down, it's going to make it really hard on 3rd down, especially versus a defense that pressures as much as they did. Yeah, we didn't do him many favors, that's for sure, up front.
Was Morgan supposed to pick up that inside blitzer, or were you supposed to slide one way or the other and you didn't do it, or what happened there?
Well, there was a few, but yeah, there was a couple guys that we missed up front that we did not do a good job with.
Hey, so I mean this is a process question, not as a game plan question. When you're having trouble in the red zone like you were, what happens? Like, you don't want to just suddenly start conjuring up new plays and stuff. So what's the process? Because we
You
know
just lean on what you're good at down there, and that's what you got to do. The biggest thing is not panic, not trust who you are, and just go make plays. I think the biggest thing, the struggles we had, particularly against the Bears, we had a turnover, we had a couple penalties, and just lacked execution down there. And that's the closer you get to the end zone, you got to make sure your execution is on point. So we just have to do a better job there. And the Bears, they do a nice job down there. They got a really good scheme, and they do a good job in the red zone for sure.
So there was irritation, but there was not panic. And
No.
that's how you have to handle it.
Definitely not.
Where are you at with Jordan Morgan right now at this point in his development? We've seen him play right guard, right tackle. He feels he's a
Yeah.
left tackle. Like, whenever next season begins, what's the plan for him? Where's he best?
He's a tackle. I think that's going to be his best position in the long run for sure. He's done a nice job out there when he's had his chances.
Left, right, either one?
Yeah, we'll see. He's shown that he can play on either side. So, but yeah, I think his best position is tackle for sure.